What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What up, Paul in the house? What up, Paul? Good to see you in here. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Paul. Sound off, boys. If you're in the chat, say hello. If you're new to the stream, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to chat in about a minute after subscribing. We do the subscriber-only chat to keep the bots out from promoting their poop coins. We're a Bitcoin-only show. We stack sats here on Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And talk about Bitcoin, buy some Bitcoin. Today's topic is hodl or buy more. There is no sell. Oh, what up, Satwise? Carlos Hadabio in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Carlos and Satwise. Also for BTC Cowboy. Good to see you in here, Cowboy. I'm a new stacker. Let's buy some sats today. Let's go. How long have you been stacking, Cowboy, if you don't mind me asking? Don't dox yourself. Don't tell us how much you have. Just if you want to share how long you've been in the game. Let's do it. All right. Let's jump into the first segment of the show that we like to call the Sat Strength. And today, the price of Bitcoin is $57,428.70. So we're still getting a pretty good deal on these sats, guys. We're getting 1,741 Satoshis for a single dollar. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, a Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. If you collect 100 million Satoshis, you in essence have a Bitcoin. If you're walking down the street minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up all the day. You could have about 17.42 Satoshis for a single penny at the current price of Bitcoin today. Guys, I know you guys know the price of Bitcoin. I know you guys know what a Satoshi is, but just in case somebody is new happens to watch this episode of the show or any episode of my show, I like to feature this at the beginning so that people understand that you don't have to be intimidated by the big price. $57,000 to buy Bitcoin. You're like, oh my God, I'm priced out. I'll never be able to afford a Bitcoin. I'll have to save before I can buy it. But that's not the case. What you should do is save in Bitcoin. You don't save to buy Bitcoin. You save in Bitcoin. Okay? By stacking Satoshis. Okay, if you start looking at this in terms of Satoshis, all of a sudden it becomes more attainable. You get the bug, the stacking bug. You become a stackopath like the rest of the people here in the chat. You stack as often as you can, and then you realize, hey, Bitcoin is one of the best things Bitcoin is one of the best places I could be saving my money, or the best place I could save my money. There is no second best, and you'll slow and steady realize that you don't have enough Satoshis. And when you think you have enough, you still don't have enough. Okay? Strike even lets you buy 0% fees, an hour with no fees after first 8 hours. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Alrighty, so there it is. Oh, and the fees are so cheap right now. 8 sats per VByte. What does that mean? Let's talk about that a little bit. Okay? Let's talk about that a little bit. Cheap fees are a good opportunity to move your coins around, or move your stack so that you consolidate UTXOs. Okay, we haven't covered this in a while. Is everybody familiar with UTXOs and what they are, what they mean? Right? It stands for unspent transactions, I think. Yes, exactly. It's that way. So you're on the same page as me right now. Yes, perfect. So it's a good time. For example, about a month ago, I wasn't sure if this was the case, but I used one address to withdraw my coins from Coinbase, and I was getting transactions every time I would hit 0.01 Bitcoin. It would withdraw to my wallet, right? And I thought, since I was using the same wallet address for all of those withdrawals from Swan, that since they were using the same address, it all counted as one UTXO. But that is not the case. what the way it does end up looking is each transaction is its own UTXO. So you can have a wallet with a bunch of UTXOs that are like, for example, 0.01, which is your withdrawal amount from Swan, if you have the default set. And you'll have a bunch of UTXOs that are for 0.01 Bitcoin, right? And those UTXOs are kind of small. So I decided to make some of those UTXOs into bigger UTXOs. And what you got to do is basically you got to go into your wallet's advanced settings and send those sats that are in those different UTXOs into that same wallet, but under one transaction, right? So what that'll do for the Bitcoin network, instead of holding like 10 wallets, 10 addresses or 10 UTXOs with 0.01 Bitcoin, you can consolidate those 10 into one, for example, one transaction. And then you'll have a 0.1 UTXO instead of a 0.01 UTXO. So you have a bigger UTXO. And why is that important? Because remember, when we're spending our Bitcoin or moving our Bitcoin, thanks, Leonard. Check 1 2. Thanks, Leonard. When you're spending your Bitcoin, you're actually paying for how much space you're adding to the Bitcoin block, right? And same thing when you're consolidating your UTXOs, you're paying more because you have so many different addresses all consolidating into one, right? So now when the prices for when the cost of being in the block is this cheap, you can consolidate your UTXOs and be ready for the future at a lower cost than when the transaction fees are high, because you have to write, depending on how many addresses how many UTXOs you're consolidating into one bigger one, you have to write a lot more to the block than you would if you're just basically sending a transaction from one person to the next, right? And later on in the future, when transactions costs are higher, you won't end up with any UTXOs that have less Bitcoin than it costs to move it. In other words, it's called dust, right? So you won't end up with sats that are stuck because there's too little sats in that UTXO to even be worth the transaction, right? In other words, it's going to cost you more to send it than is being held in that UTXO. Okay, so that's what you got to do. Let me catch up on what StatWise is saying here. Strike even lets you buy 0.01 an hour with no fees after the first 8 hours. What? That's cool. Stacking as hard as possible for the past 5.5 years. Let's go. And still want more. Let's go, Paul. That's the way to do it. Great time to consolidate UTXO. That's right. Voices. Look, I got it. March 2013. Dude, that's so awesome. That's awesome. Thanks. That way. Yeah, that's that way. That's awesome, dude. That's so good. I wish I was you. You're like along the same timeline as BTC Moon Guy. We have BTC Moon Guy's been in it for a while too. But yeah, like we are the Satwises and the BTC Moon Guys of 10 years from now, guys. Like in 10 years, we'll be rolling up to some Bitcoin show. And people are gonna call us OGs just for stacking sats like legends. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so let's jump into the why we stack segment real quick, guys, just to get it out of the way. And here we go. Why we stack. I was watching a video. I'm not done watching it yet. This guy's, I love the way he talks. I love the way he explains things. His name is CJ Constantinos is his name. You could check out his channel. It's CJK is his channel. I'll find the link and I'll put it in the chat here in a second. But CJ, he'll do interviews, but then he'll also post interviews on his own channel that he's done with other channels. So that's good. He's a good communicator, and the concepts he goes over are really cool. So if you haven't explored his content yet, check it out. And every time I watch one of his interviews, I'm just like thinking to myself, man, what am I doing? I think I'm stacking hard enough, and then I get re-motivated to stack even harder than I possibly can. And it's easy to take it's easy to take Bitcoin for granted, right? Yeah, right now it's at $57,300 or $400, whatever. And it's easy to get swept up in like the day-to-day, the week-to-week price ranges, right? And to hear the Bitcoin signal, right? Like the most pristine thing you can own, right? All the benefits of it, and we know those benefits, right? And I do sometimes. I start to take it for granted, and I think I'll be able to buy more later, right? And the price is always fluctuating, so I always feel like I can get a little bit more sats here and there, right? But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't even though I think I'm stacking pretty hard, I know there's probably other things I could do to stack a little harder. Like instead of, but it's got to be a balance though, right? It's got to be a balance. Like it's hard to articulate this piece. I see the potential of Bitcoin. I see the value in it, and I see that I should be stacking as hard as I can. But I get a little bit lazy sometimes. I still want to do stuff that is not stacking related, I guess, right? And I feel a little bit guilty because I feel like I'm shrugging off like an opportunity. And it's not like I didn't know what the opportunity was. It's not like I don't understand it. So anytime now that I choose not to do something that is going to help me get more Satoshis, I feel like I'm failing myself. I feel like I'm failing. Does that make sense? Bitcoin is doing fine. In fact, I'm impressed how well it responded to separation of money and state from Germany. Yeah, it's true. And man, Gox dumps. Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I guess the whole point of that little episode for me, or that little rant or that little talk, is I guess it's just me trying to psych myself out to not take Bitcoin for granted, to not take the opportunity for granted, right? Because just like when Bitcoin was at 71, 72, whatever was the highest high it's been this year, and we're going back and looking at our spreadsheet and saying, oh man, imagine stacking sats at like 20,000 or 25,000 when we look back at the year recap, right? Shoot, like that's constantly happening. That's constantly happening. Because in a year from now, who knows what the price will be, and we'll come back to today and be like, oh man, remember when you were talking about not stacking hard enough at 57,000? Now it's at 80 or whatever, 100 or a million, right? It's wild. It's wild. So anyway, that's why that's why we titled the episode today, Hodl or buy more. There is no sell. And if you expand that concept a little bit, you're not just choosing Satoshis over cash. You should also choose Satoshis with your time, right? It's one of the things that I overlooked the first couple of times that I watched the BTC Prague presentation from Michael Saylor in 2023. As I said, first you need to stack as much Bitcoin as you can, and then leverage whatever you can to get more Bitcoin, and then focus on doing things to get more Bitcoin. In other words, the time you spend, not only be vigilant of the money you spend on things and decide, well, is it better for me to buy this thing, or is it better for me to stack that money, right? To stack that value into Bitcoin. We take it one step further. We take it one step higher. We say, instead of saying, is it worth it for me to spend my money on this thing or stack sats? You say, is it better for me? Is the time I'm going to spend doing this thing? Is the time I'm going to spend doing this thing worth me not taking that same time and doing something that'll get me more sats. Right? I mean, that's pretty extreme, I guess. That's pretty extreme. But you put the laser eyes not just for the way you spend your money, but the way you spend your time. Right? Again, it's pretty wild. I know it's a little that was a little long and ranty, but I got to the point. I guess I got to the point. Are the things you're spending your time on worth the potential, worth the opportunity cost of not spending that same amount of time doing something that would get you more sats? There you go. There you go. That's exactly what I'm saying. And the short version of this is, the short version of the why we stack is, we save in Bitcoin because saving in Bitcoin is like going back in time and giving yourself a retroactive, always increasing raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours. In that case, time is money. So it's fair to say, don't waste my Bitcoin. Oh, Satwise is wise beyond his sats. Let's go. Yeah, it makes sense. I like that. I like the way you broke that down. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So it is 20 minutes past, and I'm sorry I was a little bit late earlier, guys. I was getting ready for the show, and then I looked at the clock, and I felt like I had like 10 minutes, and next thing you know, I was like a minute over. So I made it. Let's jump into the stack recap. Stack recap. Because we don't only talk about stacking sats here Monday through Friday. We actually stack sats Monday through Friday. Hey, that was weird. Allow myself to introduce myself. Stacking sats all day, all weekdays. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $57,362.70. Our average buy price for 2024 is $59,535.66. What does that mean? It means that today, instead of doing a single $20 stack, we're doing a double stack. Double. So today's purchase will be a $40 stack of Bitcoin, and we're adding it to our stack. And yeah, should be good. Real quick, let's look into the things we've sold so far. Earlier this week, or was it last week, I sold my sewing machine and a Pelican case that I had in my garage for a long time. Those things, I sold this one for $53. It's now worth $53.51. Woohoo! So those are Operation Flipping Sats, where we liberate some Satoshis that are captured and trapped in things around the house. The sewing machine I sold the sewing machine for $80 on the 1st of July, and I bought Bitcoin with it, and now that $80 is actually worth $84.82. Those 147,000 Satoshis have appreciated over time a little tiny bit since the beginning of the month. It's pretty cool, right? Like I said, this sewing machine has been sitting in my garage forever, at least 4 or 5 years. This Pelican case has been in my garage for about 2 or 3 years, right? Not serving me in any way, just sitting there taking up space and causing clutter. But now, those Satoshis have been liberated and captured back into my self-custody wallet. And slow and steady, guys, it's just another way, like I said, to motivate yourself to figure out legal creative ways to stack more sats. Don't forget to vlog your next sales. I know, Carlos, I'm ready. I have my camera ready so I can vlog my next sale. I thought I was going to have it today. I'm selling a, what is it? Yeah, I'm selling a, like a boxing headgear. I bought it and I never used it. It's brand new with the tags on it. It's got like a face mask and stuff. When I was doing Muay Thai before the beer virus came out. And I stopped going to that gym and I just never used the stuff. And so I have like brand new pairs of boxing gloves, brand new pairs of like Muay Thai shorts, brand new headgear. And the headgear, somebody asked about it this morning. So I'm trying to figure that out. If I do sell that headgear with that person, I'm going to go and try to get the vlog, of releasing trapped sats, Operation Flipping Sats. Dun, dun, dun. I'll put that out as its own video. We'll do that one. That'd be funny. Okay, I'll ask the person if they want to get paid in Bitcoin. Oh. If they don't want to get paid in Bitcoin, if they want to, what does that mean? Yeah, if they want to get paid in Bitcoin, I'll pay them in Bitcoin. No wait, I'm selling it. Hold on a second, I'm selling it. So I'll see if they want to pay me in Bitcoin. Yeah, and if they pay me in Bitcoin, maybe I'll take like $5 off the price or something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm starting doing. I'm gonna ask them if they're willing to pay in Bitcoin, and if they do, I'll give them a discount. Yeah, exactly right. Oh, thanks, Satwise for hyping up the like button. Let's go. Okay. So we know how much Bitcoin we're gonna buy today. We're buy $40 worth of Bitcoin, and I guess now that we know how much we're gonna buy, there's only one thing left to do, and that is it's time to stack some sats. All right, while the crowd is cheering and the audience is going wild, let me know if you guys want to get tickets to the live audience show here. I'll see what I can do. Let's see. We have today we're going to be stacking on the Strike app. Hit that buy button. There it is. Strike. $40 worth of Bitcoin today. Next. All right. Here we go. Got the music. And drum roll, please. $40 worth of Bitcoin. Boom! Just like that. The stack has been stacked. What up, McLovin in the house? Round of applause from the live studio audience for McLovin. What's up, McLovin? Chilling. We just stacked a $40 stack because the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price for 2024. And now we update the spreadsheet with today's buy. Let's go. All right, let's see here. I like these big monster buys, dude. 7, 10, 24. Stacking like mad. Okay, and the price was 57,536.20. We bought $40 worth of Bitcoin. We got 0.000688861 Bitcoin. Not bad. And just like that, we have another 68,861 Satoshis added to the stack. What does it mean? What does that take us up to? Let's find out. For 2024, it gets us to 0.068. This number doesn't include our 100 stacks challenges. We'll go to that one next. This is a cumulative score for the whole lifespan of the show. Every single buy except for maybe 6 buys was done live during one of our live streams and is accounted for here in this spreadsheet. The days where I didn't stream, I still bought Bitcoin, and those entries are also in this page. Okay. Satwise 0.068 for 2024, but then we also did a 100 stacks challenge where we saved in Bitcoin for 100 days straight, no skipping days, and that brought us to 0.0758. Yeah, there it is. So this total here is counting the 100 stacks challenge. It's counting all of the DCA we've done since the beginning of the show. And it's also counting the Satoshis we liberated from the trapped goods in my garage. In other words, these Satoshis, they're accounted for in this. Oh, that was weird. In this column. So it's all here. So for the whole lifespan of the show, with all the side things we've done to accumulate more and more Satoshis, we are at 0.2547. I wish 0.5. 0.2547, and wow, that's a big number for what we're doing. Yeah, like I guess this show was just supposed to be a little example of what could happen if you start to stack in DCA and commit to a frequency and an amount, and also commit to taking your coins off of the exchange and into your custody onto a wallet that you have the seed phrase for. That way it's 100% under your control, regardless of anything. Okay. So it's pretty cool. So, as has become tradition, pretty much, let's get into this when moon thing. I'm going to put a link in the chat, guys, so you guys can see it. First, let me put the amount here. When will we retire with the show stack? Okay. I'm going to put the link in the chat so you guys can mess with it too if you want. The When Moon website. It's just a fun thing we like to do here on the show every once in a while to see what the value of the show stack is. So I'm going to give an annual Bitcoin appreciation rate of 45. Okay, that's what I feel comfortable with. And want to retire making 100,000 a year. And based on our current stack of 1/4 of a Bitcoin, when will the show retire? When will the Stack Sats show retire and be able to live out the rest of its days making 100 grand if it sells its Bitcoin? But we're not going to sell it, guys. Just an example. Okay. And the date is September 21st, 2031, right? This, I think of the Stack Sats show as its own entity, separate from myself. If the Stack Sats show was its own person, that person would be based on their stack, and if everything else holds true, as far as like the annual Bitcoin appreciation rate and inflation, right? And the cost of living is manageable at 100,000 a year, then the show could retire in 2031. And you think about how far 2031 is away, and that's like 6 years, right? That's like 6 years. Most people saving for retirement would not be able to retire in 6 years, even if they were already been saving, right? If you treat the Stack Sats show as its own person that started saving in Bitcoin last May 2023, officially was when we started stacking for the show. So if we treat the show as an individual, that means that individual has accumulated about 1/4 of a Bitcoin, right? And is now only about 6 years away from retiring, right? That's wild, right? Check my math, guys. I know this website's a little bit, there's a lot of variables here, guys, but it's just an idea, right? It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So if you've been stacking beyond that, if your stack is already beyond the 1/4 of a Bitcoin, like maybe you're already at 0.5 Bitcoin, right? They just go up. What happened here? Whoa. Yeah, a second. Let me get the data again. There you go. Copy. Is that off? Maybe it didn't hit enter? No, it's there. It's working. Okay. 2037. Oh, I changed. It wasn't keyed in correctly or something. 2037. Still. 2037 is not that far away. 12 years. And let's say we get to 5. Let's say we get to half a Bitcoin. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, okay, that makes more sense now. So it's 10 years away with half a Bitcoin. Let's say we save a whole Bitcoin. Does that work? Oh, I think it was a default. It was a default before I put the new numbers in, and that didn't count. That's what it was showing that date. Sorry, guys. That's what it was showing that date. So sorry to get you guys too excited about that, guys. So here we go. The actual, with a quarter of a Bitcoin, it's 2031. How many Satoshis do you need to be happy? Oh, that's a great question, Satwise. That's a great question. Right? But, so, that's so funny. Will Bitcoin be worth $1 million soon? Yes. Don't trade, just stacks out. Let's go. But so anyway, my example kind of got messed up because I didn't press enter up here. But now that we have the numbers in there, yeah, it's so 2031. So it's a ways off. Wait, no, it did it again. There it goes. 2037. That's what happened last time. So 2037. Not bad. J-Dub in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for J-Dub. Okay, see you in here. Now we're just talking shop, hanging out. We jump into the Q&A section, guys. Oh, failed to fetch widget. All right, there it goes. It's back. What happened? Oh my gosh, I'm very displeased with your answer. No, that's funny. Yeah, guys. So I'm excited. Even though the price is down, we hit. It's rare when we hit a local bottom during the show. So I'm kind of happy we're able to stack at 57,500 or so, right? 57,500. And I'm just gonna keep on doing what I'm doing, guys. You guys keep doing what you're doing. If you guys have any problems with setups, right now the show is pretty new. Well, it's not new. It's small. This show is small, right? We have 7 people watching and only 6 likes. Just kidding. What I'm saying is, I'm not overwhelmed by the amount of people in the show. So, if you need help understanding any part of Bitcoin, how to hold it, how to move it, how to keep it safe, and you have questions, and you're watching a replay, put it in a comment, or if you're watching live, put it in the chat. And if it's something I can answer for you quickly, I'll answer for you quickly. If it's not, we can do an episode of it the next following day or whatever. Right? Today is Wednesday. I'll be back at Jiu-Jitsu tonight for my last class as a white belt until Friday when I get my promotion to blue belt. Let's go. So the reason I bring that up is because I'm super stoked. Friday's gonna be awesome. And Friday, we're gonna have our monthly Stack Lounge hangout. That means that if you want to jump on the chat and hang out with us here, we have a Discord, and in that Discord, there's a voice chat channel called Stacker Lounge. What we like to do is we jump on, we do the buy for the day like we did today, and then instead of doing the Q&A section here, we just have Stacker Lounge where your voice is transmitted over Discord to the internet to the stream, and basically you have an open mic to this channel. You can talk to me, you can ask me questions, and you can ask each other questions. We can talk about different things like how your orange pilling tactics are coming along, the things you're doing to secure your future, to stack more sats, to build community. So yeah. Okay, I have a question. I need help to pitch BTC to this newlywed couple of around my age. They just had their first child. They own a coffee shop nearby. I need arguments. Oh my gosh. That's so good. Like for me, like one of the biggest things I worry about as a parent is securing the future of my kids, right? What is the best thing I could do for them they don't need to have like my worry would be like, for example, you gift your kids like your property, like your real estate property, like your home or something, right? And then they're something, heaven forbid, something happens to you, and they're too young to cover the cost of taxes or whatever, so they lose that property because they didn't have the money to pay the taxes, right? That's so sad. But from that perspective, what is the one thing you can save for your kids that nobody has to know about except for them, right? And you can give it to them whenever they need it, or when the time comes, without having to have a third party involved to try to snake their cut out of their inheritance, right? So that'll be an angle to approach it, would be that. What's the thing you can leave for your kids that nobody can take away from them, right? And then well, they gotta get, then the kids have to be educated as far as like what it is and that they're not supposed to sell it, right? As far as like saving for stuff for the kids, like saving for college or saving for a house or a car, like that goes without saying. Like, are you gonna save in a currency that's gonna leak purchasing power as you save for that thing, or are you gonna save in Bitcoin that is gonna increase your purchasing power over time and might even get you to your purchase goal sooner if you do decide to sell, right? So that'll be another perspective, another way to kind of angle that, to look at that. I mean, it's that Ecuador is pretty stable, but if I was in a country where it wasn't that stable, it's like, hey man, when S hits the fan, just take your seed phrase and get out, right? So that'd be another perspective, another positive, another way to look at it is, it's like, all right, I'm out of here, money, you know. I could sure ditch card fees at the coffee shop if they accept Strike. Ooh, that's really good too. Also attracts Bitcoiners to the shop. On Carlos, do you think there's a lot of Bitcoiners in your city? Because Satwise has a really good point. Like, I'll go out of my way to patron a business that accepts Bitcoin, even just for the novelty of it, right? Just to be able to say that, hey, I spent Bitcoin on this. You're still gonna replace it, spend and replace. I get it, but to be able to move on to the future money, right? Yeah, I love it. That's cool. That's cool, Carlos. And I think, look, if you Carlos, if you have like a group of people, like say you have a Bitcoin meetup or like a Bitcoin group, and you have those people's contact info and say, you know what, I need you guys to hook me up when I orange pill a business. We just need to show up in mob and be like, hey, we hear you're accepting Bitcoin now, right? And then like give them business, right? Make them your preferred vendor for the thing for that topic, right? Like you have the coffee shop lady or the lunch lady that you orange pilled, and she's accepting Bitcoin, dude. You should be buying lunch with her as much as possible, right? And you have the other coffee shop. Whenever somebody wants to go buy coffee, send them there to buy coffee, right? And make sure that they try to spend Bitcoin with them, right? And then the businesses are not dumb. They'll see it, and they'll maybe put it in their marketing as well, right? Maybe help them by getting them like a "We accept Bitcoin" sticker, so that "We accept Bitcoin" plaque or something, right? Like get it for them, or make them, right? That should be part of the orange pill process, is to get them to have like the little Bitcoin thing. As far as like the infrastructure for setting it up, I know you use a certain wallet there, right? That you can just basically do Lightning. I think it's the Aqua wallet you said. Just make sure they know how to back it up and everything, so they don't end up having a bad experience. But ultimately, it would be cool to have like lightning nodes and all that stuff set up. But that's like more intense, and I don't think on average most businesses would set that up, even with the added incentive of not having to pay the credit card fees. I don't know. That's what I think would be the biggest hurdle. Is having to do on-chain transaction for stuff. Like right now, it wouldn't be a problem because the transaction fees are so low. If you could wait the time for the transactions to confirm. But using the Lightning Network would be a lot better. Anyway, a lot of stuff to think about. That's cool. That's very cool. That's part of the reason why I haven't like gone out and tried to orange pill businesses here in town myself. As there's so many rules. You know? That's what I did, Roman. It cost me $8 for a bunch of Bitcoin accepted here stickers. Oh, yeah. I have one place using Strike. To accept. There you go. Perfect, Satwise. That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. I'll go out and buy some stickers as well. I mean, yeah, like I get it. Like it's like the wallet of Satoshi hack that I was doing a while ago. I call it a hack because I used to just like tell people, hey, you want to learn about Bitcoin? Here, download a wallet of Satoshi. I'll send them 1,000 Satoshis, and I just started hang on to that so you can learn how it works. And I know it wasn't self-custody. I know it was risky, but sure enough, most of the people I gave 1,000 sats to reached out to me like about 2 weeks to 3 months later, depending on what the price of Bitcoin was doing. And they're like, hey man, you sent me 1,000 Satoshis and it was like 28 cents and now it's like 36 cents. What's going on? Like, how does this work? Right? And then they're coming at you ready to get orange pilled instead of you kind of chasing them down. Right? So I used to love that technique, but we don't have all of Satoshi here in the US anymore. But anyway, I need to figure out a way to do something like that again. And yes, I think getting stickers and trying to convince businesses to take Bitcoin is a good approach. I should start kind of doing that myself too. All right. Well, I got a lot to think about. I have a lot to think about. We're gonna do the regular time on Friday. We'll be back here tomorrow, but on Friday we're doing again the Stacker Lounge. If you want to be part of that, join our Discord server. I'm putting the link in the chat now. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking.